Yung mga estudyante and parents of Colegio de San Lorenzo were required or asked to sign a waiver upon receipt of their refund of the tuition. In other words, madaling salita, quit claim ito. Kumbaga, natanggap ko yung aking refund of tuition and I will no longer, I'm sa paano ba ito, babasahin ko na lang kasi baka sabihin iniiba ko yung usapan. Here, I hereby declare that I have received the refund of blank blank that I have paid to Colegio de San Lorenzo. I thereby forever waive and renounce any and all claims in interest may have had or may ever have against Colegio de San Lorenzo. Ito ba ay legal? Ito ba ay ethical? And will this hold water? Because I know quit claims and waivers, they're a piece of paper, to quote President Duterte.
Yeah. Well, this is a standard. This is a standard whenever you claim for something, and of course, the one who will pay you, and you agree that this is a full settlement, of course, you have to waive other claims. No? So, if, in other words, if you still have other claims, you don't have to sign the waiver. No? At the same time, if you challenge the amount that's being given to you in the form of refund, hindi mo tatanggapin and you don't need to sign a waiver. You can challenge it. You can ask for more. Yun lang naman. But for those who accept the refund as full settlement, then it's required that you sign naman the waiver. So para tapos na kasi otherwise it will be unending, no, claims. Baka hindi talaga matapos. But you should not be forced. Yun ang mali. No? If you will be forced to sign a waiver, that's wrong. But the waiver itself, it's a standard. It's a contract. If you agree to it, then you can sign. If you don't, then you don't have to sign.
Because, knowing some of the people I know in Congress, some of them would say, well, we cannot continue to bail you guys out. We might as well just buy you out. Or if you are a business person, meron kang building, meron kang Colegio de Beltran, pero lugi ka naman, baka mas masaya pa silang benta ko na lang sa gobyerno, here's the building, you run it, you have the resources because, as they say, the Philippine government is the biggest bank in the country.
In a way, Sito, there's some truth to that. In effect, that would operationalize complementarity, but not in the sense of the government taking over the school entirely, but really using vouchers, for example, allowing the students to study in the private schools, use the unutilized classrooms, the free spaces, using government money, to send a student to the private school. At the same time, the government saves money in building more classrooms and hiring more teachers. It was reported last week that around 91,000 classrooms are short in the Department of Education. So instead of building, for example, more classrooms, they can increase the vouchers for students because we have free spaces in the private schools.
What about joint ventures? I mean, parang ganun na rin naman, di ba? May mga voucher, nagbibigay para sa estudyante. What about a PPP? Okay, bago yan, educational PPP. Hindi ka pa naglo-launch, meron ka ng building, meron ka ng staff. Can you play around with that model, Attorney Estrada?
Yeah, actually, you're right on that. This PPP on education was first brought up during the initial implementation of the senior high school program when the K-12 law was passed. Because at that time, the government sees lack of classrooms to absorb all of the senior high school students coming from the public school. So that idea of a public-private partnership in education was brought up. So it's up to them on what to, how they can partner to put up schools so that the public school students can study in these senior high schools put up by the private sector. So I think a similar model can be explored for this so that we can avoid more school closures. But still maintaining, the challenge there really is still maintaining the identity and character of the private educational institution. But at the same time, the government also has some control and of course giving the enough support for it to sustain its operations.